everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video we are going to be filling 1 out of 2 of our Birdies raised beds, and we're going to be putting in some honeyberry bushes. We've got 2 different varieties that we'll be putting in here today. So if you haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, please be sure to do so. Turn on your notification bell so that you never miss an upload from us, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That helps us out so much on here. So right now I'm just amending in some perlite, which is really good for aeration and drainage. And now I'm adding in the mushroom compost. So what I'm doing is I'm creating our soil media, which is the soil that will be in the raised bed where the plant will go. So this is mushroom compost. It is an essential nutrient, and it is a slow release fertilizer, and it actually enhances the soil's ability to hold moisture, which is super beneficial if you're going through a dry spell. And what it does is it actually improves the overall structure of your soil, making it a phenomenal place for root growth for whatever you plant in there. Not only that, it also provides calcium, so it'll give the plant the essential calcium that it would need. And so right now what I'm doing is sifting the mushroom compost. So I'm just making sure there's no foreign matters in there, like plastic or rocks or large sticks, anything like that. So you don't want that in your garden or in your garden bed. So now I'm adding in some peat moss, which is really good for water retention, aeration, and creating a fluffy, lighter soil structure. And then I'm also going to add some vermiculite, which is good for water retention. So balance is everything. So we're adding things in that will help retain the moisture in the soil so it doesn't dry out, but we're also adding in things that will keep it flowing with air so that you don't produce mold within your soil or in your roots or anything like that. This was probably the funnest part for me in all of this, because if you notice, I'm really not the one that does the gardening in our videos. I am usually behind the camera filming, but because Hector is injured right now with his arm, I had to let him film while I do the beds. But right now we're just giving it a very good mix, and actually this was pretty heavy. It doesn't look like it, but that mushroom compost was very, very heavy. So trying to get that from the bottom up to the top and mixing everything in was a little challenging, but it was very satisfying, very fun. So we did 1 5-gallon bucket of the mushroom compost. Then we did 1 5-gallon bucket of the peat moss and 1 5-gallon bucket of the vermiculite. And we did that 3 times to fill this bed. So I didn't show everything like us doing it all 3 times because it became pretty redundant. But so yeah, it took a 5-gallon bucket of each 3 times to fill this bed. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit more. So yes, we did a 5-gallon bucket of each the mushroom compost, peat moss, and vermiculite, and we did that 3 times to fill the bed. So this bed is pretty large. It's a Birdies raised bed. We got it from Epic Gardening, and it is 22.5 inches wide by 5 feet 4 inches long, and it's 15 inches high. So what Hector did was, at the end of the season last season, he filled it up halfway with his leftover corn husks, some mulch, and then he also added in a 10-pound coconut coir pith to kind of start creating the base of this bed. So had he not filled it up halfway with those things, we probably would have actually needed to do this maybe 2 more times, adding in the 5-gallon bucket of each, the compost, peat moss, and vermiculite. So if you are interested in getting one of these raised beds or many of these raised beds, I will put the link down in the description. We got it from epicgardening.com. We are not sponsored, but we are looking for a sponsor. But we are not sponsored, but we highly recommend these. It is 100% food safe. It's made from Alliazing steel. It contains USDA approved paint, so you don't have to worry about any harsh chemicals or anything like that getting into your gardening, especially if your focus is for organic gardening. So I will put the link down in the description. I don't know that they still have the one with our exact dimensions available. Last time that we checked for the link, we didn't see it there. So if they don't have this exact one available, what I'll do is I'll link the one that is closest to it. So that'll be down in the description for you. So now I'm adding in our fertilizer mix and topping it off with that. We did 10 cups of worm castings, 2/3 of a cup of bone meal, 2/3 of a cup of green sand, and a 1/2 cup of bat guano, as well as 2/3 of a cup of kelp meal, 2 cups of azomite, and 6 to 7 cups of Pro Mix, which is a mycorrhizal fungi soil. So we did all of that in a 5-gallon bucket, mixed it up really well, and what I'm going to do is just top it off and kind of get it into that top layer of the soil media that we created in the bed. So if you can see here, I'm just kind of sprinkling it in and getting it just down into that first layer. And then when we water, that'll all slowly trickle down and be a slow release fertilizer as we continue to water. Of course, we'll need to add fertilizer as we go through the season, but to get it started, you're okay with just adding it in on top and getting it into that top layer. So this is a Borealis Honeyberry Bush. It's good for zones 3 to 8, and it is hardy up to -40. So definitely perfect for us. We're in 3B, 4A, and we have ridiculously cold winters, so that root system will survive. Now we're going to add in some mycorrhizal inoculant, which is an organic root enhancer. So we put this on at the very bottom of it, and it's just feeding the roots. It's just making sure that the roots have optimal growth and health. So you'll want to sprinkle that on and massage it in before you put it into its spot, its home in your garden bed. So you need 2 different berry bushes to pollinate each other. So this one is the berry blue honeyberry bush. It's good for zones 2 to 8, and it is also hardy up to -40. So again, that root system will survive the cold winter. And I'm going to repeat the same steps that I did with the other honeyberry, the Borealis. I'm just going to add on that mycorrhizal inoculant to the roots to help that root growth. And we spaced these bushes 2.5 feet away from each other, but 18 inches away from the edge of the bed. So on the outside of the bush, on the edge there, they came in 18 inches, but then we made sure they were 2.5 feet apart from each other. And that's just to give them enough space for growth and whatnot. So they'll still be able to pollinate, but they'll still be able to grow and have their own space. Now that the bed is set, I'm just going to give it a really nice watering to get everything settled and ready to go. So Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on your notification bell so that you never miss an upload from us. And we both just want to say thank you so much for all the love you guys have given us on these last couple videos that we did, especially our patio video. And we are now at 136 subscribers, so slowly but surely we are growing. So thank you so much, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!